Welcome to the channel that is physics. I'm Jocelyn, your host for this video, and today we'll be talking about Newton's 3 laws of motion. Now earlier in class today, I got to test out the 3 laws of motion with 2 golf balls. Check it out next! Now earlier in class today, I got to test out the 3 laws of motion with 2 golf balls. Check it out at the next slide. Here that we have 2 golf balls on the table that are at rest. This is an example of Newton's first law. Every object continues in a state of rest or of uniform speed in a straight line unless acted upon by a non-zero net force. Now, let's see what happens to these golf balls if this and the second and third laws apply all together. Yeah, science.
That sounded cheesy.
Yeah, but it sounded cooler in my head. Pardon my friend Nermal here. He visits at the most unexpected times. Going back to the golf balls, some may not see the second law of motion to be as obvious as the first and third laws were. Want to take a guess at what the source was coming from? That's right, it was coming from my hand. Basically, Newton's second law of motion states that acceleration is proportional to the net force acting on the first object, my hand for example, divided by the mass of the second object, or the first golf ball I was holding. Now, luckily I had enough net force to move the golf ball a little easier, as if the mass was bigger, my hand would have to use more force against it for it to even move. Good gosh, I couldn't imagine what would happen if I couldn't move it. Now, for the final part of the explanation is of how the ball used the third law of motion. Now, luckily I had enough net force to move the golf ball a little easier, as if the mass was bigger. Now, luckily I had enough net force to move the golf ball a little easier, for if the mass was bigger, my hand would have used more force against it for it to even move. Good gosh, I couldn't imagine what would happen if I couldn't move it. I would probably have a bit of a hard time. Anyway, now for the final part of the explanation. It's how the ball is used for the third law of motion. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Simply said, when the first ball hit the second golf ball on the table, it managed to transfer its energy into the second one, making it go while the first one slowed down and eventually stopped. Oh my, look at the time. Looks like that wraps up this lesson in... Oh my, look at the time. Looks like that wraps up this lesson in... Ouch! Oops. Well, in physics? See you next time.